And that's when
Hey
Stu
everybody.
got an ankle bracelet for being a pedo.
uh yeah, what an intro to the show. I've got a kid messaging me asking me how old I am.
Age, sex, location.
Yeah, you can get out of here with that.
What AOL chat rooms are you part of, Scoot?
All right, how is everybody tonight? How are you guys? We had Mother Starnes in the chat. Hey, Annie's in the chat. We got almost the whole family here.
Oh, gosh. Oh, is Dad in the chat? I'm sorry.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Wow. Our Father's dead, by the way.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm sure Brad at some point in this stream will say he's croaked at some point. That's his favorite.
It's just a lighter term for the passed away.
It sure is. All right, so let's say hey to the folks in the chat. We got the whole family. We got Bear, we got Annie, we got Mama. Mama? That sounds weird. I haven't said that in a while. We got Mother in the chat. Aaron.
Oh, like Adam,
Corey.
Mother, how are you in the chat?
Mother, how are you? Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Yeah, Aaron. Hayashi's been here for 2 days. Some other folks will show up. If you're watching and you're not commenting, you need to comment. Yep, Brad's already so it can only get better from here, so or worse.
I'm locked in. Can you grab comic out of there?
Where? Oh yeah. I didn't set up the Brad cam.
That's fine. We can do that later.
So we do have some fun show and tell stuff for you guys before we get started, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time because this one's probably going to be, I said this last week, it's going to be detailed. The blue lines I'm sitting here looking at, it's going to be detailed.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get that off the screen real quick. It's from the printer.
It hurt. He pulled it up and hey Dwayne, welcome in.
So first of all, hey Dwayne, what's up, man?
No new Corey pictures this week, sorry guys.
Yeah, we don't have any new Corey pictures, but we do have some show and tell. The first one I'm gonna bring up, Brad asked me to bring up, so he's probably got a story to tell. I don't know.
So Aaron was telling me earlier this week that his home was being invaded by spiders.
That's not funny. That's serious. It's not funny.
So Scoot Drew, when'd you draw this?
It was an Instagram live when Todd Knock did the one of the
post-it
note challenges. Yeah.
So go ahead, you can.
Well, I was just drawing some post-it notes, and I said, "Hey, chat, what do I draw?" And somebody said, "Just draw a spider." Well, I drew this.
This is what's been terrorizing.
This is what's been invading Aaron's home. So
an English spider.
Yeah, it's got to be something because it sure is not a real spider. It looks more like an ant than it does a spider. But the whole chat named him Peter. So here's Peter the spider. So Brad asked if I could show Peter the spider. So there he is.
He was talking about rubbing some lemon on there and dousing and some other ways to get rid of all these spiders. I'll share my horrific spider story later that Scoot and I witnessed when we were cleaning out from under our house once.
Speaking of spiders, we were cleaning last weekend or a weekend before, and we found a black widow. It's like the second one I've seen in my whole life. It was scary.
Yeah, the only way to counter spiders, Aaron, is with more spiders.
All right, so let's take Peter the spider off here. Aaron, I guess whenever we sorry. Congestion happening. Yeah, it's not COVID.
Use your mute button next time.
All right. So Aaron, when we send you a package, I should probably just send this to you.
Just send him real spiders.
So first order of business this week, obviously. Woo! This being maybe the biggest thing that's happened to me in my art career. Fathom the Core. Yeah. I did a variant cover for it with the help of our good buddy, Corey's Inking on Inks. Corey King did the inks, and John Eicher, who never comes in the chat because he's old and falls asleep, did some magnificent colors on this thing. And you guys tell me, those colors are magnificent.
And if you look at the pencils, there's no sun in the pencils.
There's no sun in the pencils.
Iger was just like, it needs a little sunset, and just threw it in there.
Yeah, he said, what do you want to put in the background? I said, man, I kind of thought it'd be cool to make it kind of like a sunset. I didn't say put a sun in there, and he just did it.
Just like faded orange and red colors.
Yeah. So most of you guys that are in here should already know how to get a hold of this, because you follow me everywhere and you worship the ground I walk on. But pass it along to your friends. I did create an Instagram today. I created a story that's in my profile that tells how to get it. So it's always there if anybody needs to see it. So,
do you know any loose idea of when that thing will be here? Because we're getting 200 copies. They're getting shipped straight to us.
They are. I'm pretty sure this is at printers now.
Okay.
And yeah, Frank said that it's going to go straight from the printers to us. It's not going to them to us. So. So he said it could literally be by the end of this month, but I'm gonna say end of this month, early next month. So,
and so a lot of people have websites and all these fancy ways. We are not fancy. We have DMs, and Scoot set up an email specifically for it. So
that email was created 2 days ago,
and that's how we're doing it. Just email us and send them away. Get a remark, make Scoot some extra money.
Yeah, and so far we've
I guess you're signing them too. If it was on
I put on there on the thing. Tell me if you want it signed or not. It's not gonna hurt my feelings if they don't want it signed.
Oh no, sure.
Because sometimes I'm the same way. I don't want anything on my covers, but
you gotta go to Iowa and Florida to get it signed by all three.
So I forgot the point I was gonna make.
It's beautiful. Actually,
it is. It's cool.
Behind the scenes, Corey inked this thing twice.
He sure
I
did.
believe he did a traditional inks, which I hope he still has.
Yeah.
But then Scoot, being the madman he was, made him re-ink it digitally. Apparently, he called him,
and you guys
insulted him.
It makes it sound like I'm a horrible person, but I knew the work Corey could put out, and I knew he wouldn't be happy in the long run, so I did it for Corey. My heart's always in the right place.
No, and it's absolutely exceptional.
It is. It turned out really, really, really awesome. I couldn't have asked for it to be any better.
As soon as I saw that water, if I was Corey, I would have been like, I'm busy. I got things to do. I've got 7 kids.
I've got stuff lined up. So
you're kidding, Corey. You better not burn those things.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to have a Brute Studios website. I'm sure it'll happen down the road, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
and I'm not about to go learn.
I've been emailing back and forth with GeoCities to get our website up and going. I like Hayashi is not going to get that joke, most likely. I mean, he might.
All right, next week Brad's not going to be here.
Whatever.
So
yeah, enjoy your dead air. Well, I guess you can play Dwayne's
We're just going to
album.
have an ASMR one. I'm going to put the microphone super close to the paper so you can just hear my pencil moving back and forth.
Dwayne's music playing in the background.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So anyway, the point I was going to make is, so I'm keeping a pre-order list going on my phone, just a file, and we've already made our money back. As long as everybody follows through, we've already made our money back. So it's already paying off. So.
My other question is, are they individually numbered, or are we going to have to number them?
They're not individually numbered. And then I don't know, we may individually number. I don't know.
I like doing that sometimes. Maybe just in the back cover.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it on the
front for sure. Good Lord.
And then another super exciting thing, have all of you seen the new Brute Studios logo? If you haven't, check it out. I'm sure it's on our Brute Studios Instagram account.
It is.
But the Brute Studios logo will be on the back cover of this, which is super cool. It'll have the Brute Studios logo, and then underneath it'll say Scoot Starnes exclusive, which is super rad. And then of course, Corey and John will get they'll get credits in the book. And
hopefully it will not be the first time Aspen Comics and Brute Studios Comics logos are together.
Yeah, hopefully not. All right, so that's enough about that. That's been crammed down everybody's throat for the past
and we're all fine with it.
Couple days. So the next thing is also very exciting. So I'm just gonna bring this up and then I'm gonna let Brad talk.
Oh, I moved wrong. So hey, I've told you guys I was working on a comic with a local artist named Dale Martin. I'll drop his name in the chat. I've posted up a few stories about him yesterday. Him and I have been working on a story together for a while, a new series, and the first story is ready to go. The first chapter is 12 pages. Each story is going to be 8 to 12 pages. Takes place during the first Crusades and involves kind of like I can talk more about it when Scoot gets into it, but we've got a team. It's going to be kind of a band of brothers. Um, Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos feel, but just our own take. And we'll show some interior art here in a little bit too. Maybe I'm going to post some up real soon. But I'm super excited because we finally got it. It started as just a little thing we do on the side, and he had his own comics he was doing, and he had like a weekly comic he had to put out, like a page or so for this for a series called Watsuri that he does. Watsuri the Talking Dog. Really fun stuff, and we just kind of were playing with this, and then last year we decided to try to push it and have it done as soon as possible, and that turned into last week. So we've got the second one. I'd say the second one's about 40% done. We've got once again, I'll go into more of the process here in a little bit because it's actually a really different process to what me and Scoot do, and it's really fun. But I'll start posting pencils from it soon. I'll post character profiles just for fun, different stuff, different content, because it's, while in the front cover definitely has the Brute Studios logo in there, but it's in collaboration with his, which is Community Soapbox Comics. Soapbox Press. So, you don't have to worry about that because it's not going to be. No, I'll show some later. But it's a super fun story. I think you guys will enjoy it. It's really crazy because Dale says he doesn't usually do action and stuff, but it is very solid. It's a great book. Got a kind of little older school feel to it, but I think you guys will enjoy it. And I'll post up once again. I'll post it up, and it'll be just a DM email thing, and we can pump it out. We're going to put it in some local shops. And if you end up ordering a Fathom cover and you want one of those, we'll throw it in there. It's going to be $3. Throw in $3 extra. We'll throw it in with there. No extra shipping, and we'll just keep pumping out comics and having fun. So
yeah, it's super cool. I just got to thumb through it real quick, and I've over time have actually gotten to read it because Brad, sends me updates and stuff. It's super fun. It's really, really cool. And then Dale, I mean, he's one of the best cartoonists I've ever seen. And his stuff, like, it's funny because he draws very cartoony, like a comic strip type of drawing, but his action is amazing.
His action is amazing, and he almost lives and dies, similar to Max Sarin, who did Giant Days, lives and dies on his facial expression. So many good. Every panel has a different facial expression. Each character has different life. Very cool stuff. And I hope you guys enjoy it because it's going to be a fun. We've already got the first, probably like 10 stories or so planned out, more structure planned out, to where hopefully we can start putting out several of these a year. And then even if you don't pick up a single issue, our plan is once we get 10 or so and we have 100+ pages or maybe more, we'll just bind them as like a book one and then pump it out that way, which would be super fun, super cool to have a trade to show off to people.
Yeah, it's super cool to see your name on the front of a book finally.
Yeah, and like usually it's like writer, like a lot of people do writer artist. I like how Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, which is Scoot and I's method, is we swap names. So in the first story, his name was first. Second story, my name's going to be first. And then, but Dale really does a good lion's share of it, so I was fine with him putting his name first. It did not affect my ego one bit, because I definitely have none when it comes to.
Yeah, the cover's it's freaking rad.
Yeah, it's rad. I mean, clearly the big secret is that our Black Ops Templar team has a dragon on it. It's one of its members, a sentient, fully English-speaking dragon. But it's there. We'll show some pages. There's some stuff. There's some good like page turns that we won't show off because I want you to read them and be excited when you first see them. We'll still show off some fun stuff all the same.
All right. So with that, I'm gonna bring this down. But yeah, it looks really, really good.
That can actually be your copy as well.
Then hopefully, Brad will have 2 books out this year with his name on it. So
and practicing my signature. And
all right.
Oh yeah, if we get KF going, I'll have 3 sometime.
All right, we're gonna hop into this. So today, I'm going to be drawing Gwen Stacy, and I put Gwen Stacy Venomized, but it's basically Gwen Stacy kind of being overtaken by the Venom symbiote. So, but fun fact about this book, right down here you'll see 2 signatures. One is for Robbie Rodriguez, and one is for Rico Renzi, both of whom are the ones that created Spider-Gwen.
The book that got away from me.
Yeah.
Edge of the Spider-Verse #2.
And I totally forgot that this book was this was signed. We actually got the signature at Memphis Comic Expo one year. And I had him sign it just in case I would ever draw something on it. So here we are, drawing something on it.
Hey, man,
So I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
I'm about to send you a picture, Bear, because I can't send it. My signature's cool.
Prophet, do I know you? You might, or is this yours? Everybody's names are different on Instagram and stuff. So let us know who you are.
We have weird names, and now everybody uses their real name.
Yeah. So if you're not, if this isn't for you, or you're just in the chat, what's up? How's it going? And have a good time. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, because this one could take a while.
Oh, really? Are you gonna put some detail into this one?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put some detail.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And I'd really like to get all the way through this one, so. But luckily enough, I went pretty tight on the blue lines, because I knew this one was going to be complicated.
Yeah, your blue lines are absurd. Pretty darn
Yeah, real
crazy.
quick, I have a thumbnail. So last night when I was trying to just figure out what I wanted to do, this was the blue lines. It's just the thumbnail, really. I've deviated a little bit from this, but that's my preliminary sketch, and you can see it's tiny.
So she's getting taken over, or is she busting out? Or...
Yeah, she's getting taken over.
Well,
and again, if my head gets in the shot, y'all let me know.
Venom, I haven't read anything with her, with any of the Venom, if any of it's canon in her universe, but...
Said Venoma. I just thought about Venom getting ready for a...
Oh God!
Colon exam.
Oh my God! But she, I kind of would wonder what the dynamic is, how the Venom symbiote acts in her universe, because I mean, one of the greatest origins, or I guess team ups, when Venom joined up with Eddie Brock, is they both joined up over mutual hatred of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and like. Peter sucked so bad, Eddie prayed for God to kill him.
No, isn't that messed up?
It's so good. Oh, yeah, he said it's his book.
Okay, cool. I thought so. Glad you could make it, man.
We thought we'd do something fun this time, Prophet, and he's going to draw for like 20 minutes, and I'm going to take over.
Yeah.
And
you're already committed to paying, so you can't back out at this point.
Too late.
Let me zoom in.
This is, I guess, only partially related because, but I had never seen... hopefully I'm not wrong, Steve Ditko's cover for Amazing Fantasy #15. I knew that Jack Kirby did the famous one, the one that's up on your wall.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
I'd never seen it until recently. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
And man, maybe it's because we've had so much time. I mean, I sit and stare at this thing for 2 hours every week.
That's true. I have a poster of Amazing Fantasy 15 on my wall.
Right where his camera is, so I'm just like staring right at it the whole time, but God, I can see why Stan Lee last minute was like, hey, Jack, knock this thing out for me. And it's just a little...
What's funny is every other piece of like Jack Kirby Spider-Man art it's pretty atrocious. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, he wasn't the best at it, but I still like when somebody goes, also on his first appearance, he tells the whole world his name, because he was like, tells us that it's Peter Parker on the front.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've after my soul-crushing loss of the first print of Edge of the Spider-Verse #2, which once again, I wanted a first printing because it's the first appearance of Spider UK, and Spider UK is awesome. Really sad they took him out in the beginning of Spider-Geddon, but I've kept up through trades with Spider-Gwen stuff, and I really like it. I think like of all the, because some alternate universes where they do that, you know, basically what ifs, don't land as well. They try to do something different, but in the end it's almost the same. And hers are cool because I mean, like, it's cool she's in a band with MJ, and then like Peter wanted to be like Spider-Woman, so he tried to give himself superpowers, and he became the Lizard, which the Lizard being probably my second favorite Spider villain after Otto.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like because he means Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I mean, it's his kind of thing, and I like Kurt Connors and stuff. I loved Leonardo DiCaprio using his name and using Dr. Connors as his name and Catch Me If You Can. But I liked it because then, of course, Peter dies, and Peter dying becomes her Uncle Ben and kind of propels her. And she goes through a lot of that when, like, in Spider-Verse, Peter Parker's like, all right, we're all going, Gwen's staying here. And she's like, what? And he's like super protective. We're like, get out of here. I'm a superhero. And but at the same time, every time she sees him, she thinks about the person she failed, her friend Peter Parker. And so it's a good dynamic, and I like the characters. Matt Murdock's awful in it. On like Murder Doc or something, but it's a fun alternate universe, and I love when they bring her in because she played a huge role in the Clone Conspiracy. Her and Kane teamed up to help take down Ben Reilly as the Jackal, which I gotta say, I'm usually for screen or like comic accurate suits. I want to see Ben Reilly show up in a movie with the blue hoodie on, in just a red suit. But if I see a screen accurate version of the Jackal, I'm not going to that movie.
Hell no.
I would be like, I got covered.
Wait, which Jackal? The one with the helmet, like the Anubis looking one?
No, the green Jackal.
Green Jackal.
Yeah, like I would be like, I'm gonna cover my eyes. Somebody tell me when the scene's over. Get Miles Warren's ass out of here. Like, he's also kind of a creepy character because he's like this old professor who cloned Gwen Stacy because he was obsessed with her. Like, dog, you're like 65 in this, and she was, what is she? What was Gwen when she died? She was in college, so she might have been 20.
Yeah.
It's
funny too. Speaking of them being in college, like how many people are always like, Peter Parker should be in high school. Like, he was not in high school that long. He was only in there for like the first few issues of Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he became Spidey when he was 14, but he a lot of the stuff, all the stuff with like Harry Osborn and Gwen, and even like MJ dated Harry forever, kind of just hanging on to him until Gwen was gone, and then she made the move on Pete. As long as I guess as long as you avoid sins past. But yeah, I love, like, once again, I've been reading Spider-Girl a lot, and super fun series, and I like it because it's what had happened had they not totally botched. I guess if they had been too scared to give Peter a daughter in the main line, the 616.
Yeah.
Instead, they had Gwen had MJ lose the baby, and you're like, ugh, like it's cool what they did with it, and I guess I can see I don't see the problem with giving people kids. I mean, Cap's got several of them that just kind of float around, and then I mean, even Hank Pym has kids, and that guy's unstable most of the time. But I don't agree with that. Same as I didn't agree with, even though I liked this story One More Day, I thought him and MJ giving up their love, while a great story. Woof, what great odds, like making you. That's what makes Mephisto so good, is it's not like, hey, I want your soul when you die, because I mean, that's never gonna stick anyway. Everybody dies in comics, but
everybody in the chat, y'all good? Y'all just listening to Brad?
Corey,
a little inactive there.
Corey, making them give up their love's great, but at the same time, and this sounds awful, I really wish they had let Aunt May die. Okay, she's died before, but at least once before. But I think if she died, it could have been like a soft reboot of Spider-Man, where, a lot of people, I mean, shoot, we never knew, I guess we know Uncle Ben died, but we were not around for that, and we only got it retroactively, so new readers could have been brought into Spidey with his responsibility renewed through losing Aunt May, and then it could have put a strain on him and MJ's relationship, and they could have played with that,
been a lot more dynamic.
Yeah, I think it would have given him more room, instead of being like, hey, we got to split him up, make him single, and it's just like, oh, man, I don't know. It's yeah, Aaron said he's working on something. He's hustling.
Sweet.
Like everybody.
That's what you need to be doing, man.
But yeah,
just making sure I don't have any kind of like connection errors or.
Oh no. Bears on the Transformer aisle. But I just recently read Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, who, if you've never read anything they've done, Dan Abnett recently did a series, I want to say for Boom, or gosh, it might have been Boom or Dark Horse, but it was called Wild's End, and it was sort of like a War of the Worlds, but set in a world with anthropomorphic animals. And if there's ever, we need more stories with anthropomorphic animals. Like, we need more Disney Robin Hoods, because we got to take that genre back from furries. Yeah. And it was really good, really really well written, and it had 3 different volumes. Great stuff. Great alien designs. They looked like lampposts, like old lampposts from like big cities, like old school. Like, you see old pictures of New York or London with like the gas lamp street lights.
All of that stuff.
Really, really cool stuff. But Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning are probably most famous for their cosmic run in Marvel, starting with Annihilation and going all the way through to the Thanos Imperative. And I think it was Annihilation, and then they did Annihilation Conquest. Great story. Shows that like the threats like Ultron to Earth are not really, like, once the cosmic people get their hands on them, they're done. Like, but Annihilation Conquest, I think it was Realm of Kings, War of Kings, and then the Thanos Imperative. And it's just this really crazy story where they took like all these characters. Marvel basically gave them free reign, and they took all these characters that nobody cared about, and those characters nobody cared about are Gamora, Peter Quill, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, all these things, like got Drax, all these characters that nobody used, nobody cared about, and they made the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then they brought together, like, they did the Annihilators at the end, which was really cool because there's all these like Omega level people, like it was Gladiator, Quasar, Ronan the Accuser, Silver Surfer, a bunch of those people. And they just wove this really great cosmic story that played out over, I can't even imagine, that had to be like 4 or 5 years. But they also did New Mutants, and New Mutants, I read the first part of it, and really good stuff, really solid stuff. Takes place right as the schism happens, where Wolverine and Cyclops split on Utopia. But probably the best issue is that, gosh, I'm losing her name. I think her name's like, yeah, she has powers over fire and like place, but she goes on a date with Mephisto, and it's really great because
sounds dangerous.
Cypher messes up a spell by one syllable, and they end up in Mephisto's hell. And in order to get them out, she had to agree to go on a date. But it's funny because, like, in the end, there's no like double speak. He just wanted to go on a date. Like, he's like, I deal with people who are so dishonest all the time. He just wanted to have a date. It was really funny and really interesting and kind of like sweet if you didn't know he was an awful awful character who liked to play with everybody's brain. But it was definitely a very fun idea. I need to get the second complete collection because those two together, like, they're like the Russo brothers or something, where they should always work together, but every once in a while they split up and do their own separate things.
Like the Brute Studios brothers.
The Brute Studios brothers, yeah. Every once in a while I'll make a dragon story with somebody else, but in the end we're still together. We had a distraught comic shop owner here who thought we didn't want to work with them because we did the Fathom cover on our own. You know, it was me and Matt Nick really bankrolled it, and then Scoot, Corey, and Iker brought it together. And he thought we went and got a dealer variant with somebody else, and I was like, no, man, you know, we're always here for you if you want to get if you want to do it. He's like, I would love to do a dealer variant. I was like, well, find what book you need and
and just make it happen.
Make it happen. I was like, I'm not even asking Scoot. I'm not asking Skoko Joe. Just get out here and just tell us to work, and
tell us what you want.
What you really, really want.
Send you a Spice Girls book.
Corey says he still has that Phoenix. They're talking about your Phoenix. Annie's color and Hollowfield's inks of it. And Corey makes it sound like he's slacking off, but dude's got paying jobs he's doing right now.
Yeah.
So as much as we tell him, get back to work and crack the whip on him,
He does way more work than I do.
yeah,
so.
what the hell, yeah. Our high horse is a donkey for sure. It is an ass. It is not. We cannot make fun of him for that. Like, I'm happy if I sit down and put an hour of work into writing or whatever. And Corey over here, gosh, his story the other day about how he finally got to go to bed at midnight and his kid woke him up and it was 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh,
That kid would have had new parents.
oh yeah, like put him outside so he can go to the bathroom and forget he's out there. Go hook your kid up to the chain to the tree and then let him take care of himself.
I gotta remember, she's blonde. She's blonde. Don't heavily render the hair.
How would you do it? I guess where you normally put the shines on
Yeah,
is you render a little
I
bit.
just want, it'll just be hairlines. So like I'm doing like this, it'll just be more of this type.
David Finch just came in the chat and said he could render blonde hair, huh?
That's why he's got like 500,000 followers.
Well, he's also a baller, so
Yeah. I mean, I'm a baller. Shot caller, brawler.
no, but he's a legend.
Yeah, yeah.
Heroes get remembered, but legends never die.
Follow your heart, kid.
Yeah, Corey was like, man, I don't even know if I'm still awake. I was like, yeah, I hate dreams like that. Lobster tastes better in space. And he was like, I was just hoping to make his day more confusing. One of those things where he's like, yeah, they tackled me on the John Deere floor because I was about to put my hand in a turbine to see if it was real. Oh. Hey, Amanda. You jumped in chat.
Hey, Amanda, how's it going?
You guys bringing in the viewers today. I love it. I was telling Shannon too. I was like, I think he still does those back of the room videos where he kind of talks about the new issues coming out and they just chat for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna tell us we come up there on a Tuesday and do one of those with him.
Yeah.
And tell him to come out here and
Hadn't been in a comic shop since the pandemic, so.
yeah. And I'm trying to. I think we need to possibly set up get like a desk and stuff for you at my house, because my house is a bit more central and it'd be easier to bring you out there and have like a couple of folks come out there.
I can bring all the streaming equipment,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I could do it on Ashley's laptop.
Yeah, and it's oh, cool. Justin and I were possibly gonna go to that night to 901 East tomorrow.
Nice. What's up?
Oh, I'm not sure. I was gonna go swimming. It'd probably be afternoon, like 1 or so afternoon. But
You do, let me know. I'll see if I can
yeah.
come off tomorrow.
It seems like they went today. Did you guys, Amanda, you and Justin buy anything? I know he was looking. Justin and I stopped working for probably a solid 30 minutes to talk about Marvel Cosmic Entities and our favorite, like, crazy over-the-top stories and events. And I think I got him convinced to read Hickman's Secret Wars, which that sounds like we're slacking off. Justin and I have been busting ass at work. We have been working so hard. Like, I get to see him and I say, hey bud, and wink at him in the morning, and then sometimes I forget he's there because him and I are just working so hard for the past like 4 months. There's barely been breathing room. I'll let you know if I go.
I'm wondering why it keeps like overexposing when my hand's right here. Let me try something real quick.
You're so pale, your light's washing it out. Maybe just wear a black glove. That'd be super cool, like a silk glove.
No, I'm okay. Filters. I'm just gonna mess with the filters real quick. So there's nothing wrong with your screen.
Yeah. Oh, they have a lot cool, and there's they got the Agent Venom and the Spider Punk statues, the little PVC statues there.
Oh, I want the Spider Punk ones. So
I want
bad.
both of them so bad. And this is a little insight into our close friends group, but every year about this time, a lot of our family, which our family includes Dwayne and Mark in the chat, we make Christmas lists or holiday lists, whatever you want to call them, on Amazon. It's just a thing because a lot of us buy gifts for each other, and just in case you don't have an idea, you got a little list there to help you. You normally, like Mark and I, don't need a list for each other. We know what each other have, and we buy each other trades that we talk about. Like, I've got some ideas already what I'm buying him for Christmas, but think those what are they called again? The selects, Marvel Select, or the PVC ones?
The Marvel Gallery,
Galleries, that's what they're called. Excuse me.
the Diamond Select.
Diamond Select, yeah. Those are super cool, and they look good on a shelf, and people come in and be like, that guy can afford statues.
Yeah.
Dang. But
I've got a Mysterio and a Carnage up on the wall, and then I have the Venom that Mark got me.
Amanda, everything in that shop is for sale. They had the Gwenom, like the Venomized Gwen at the other shop. They're usually like, I don't know. I guess it depends on which one you were looking at, but I guarantee it's for sale. And if not, make them an offer. I recently went there and bought the bulk of my Spider-Girl single issues, and I was just like, hey, I want to buy all of these, but they're all cover price. I want you to cut me a deal. And the rule of thumb, if you ever have to deal with somebody, if you want to deal, of course, you can't go into Target and say, hey, I'm going to buy all these, cut $100 off of it, because no one in there has the authority to do that. But if you go anywhere where someone has an authority to deal, like a local comic shop, man, never be afraid to ask that stuff. What's the worst they can say is no. But I walked in and I was like, hey, I've got like $250 worth of comics. I want to buy them all, but I don't want to pay $250. He's like, throw me an offer. I was like, $150. He's like, how about $180? I was like, cool, sold. Like, I mean, you can barter with folks, so it helps a lot. Spider Gwar. And so definitely ask him. 901 Comics Midtown right now has the 3 issues of the Galactus trilogy from Fantastic Four, and I stared into the abyss, and it stared back at me. Gosh, they looked like really nice covers. They asked if I wanted to hold them, and I politely declined. Yeah. I'd rather risk dropping somebody's baby.
Pulseless.
We'll check it out, Justin. If they don't have it, I looked a little today at 901 Comics Midtown, but I honestly can't believe I don't have a trade of Secret Wars. Like, I've got the original issues. Well, Aaron, it sounds like you don't have the authority to barter. He said his boss would kill him. But yeah, I never try to barter with any of their like wage slaves. I only barter with Shannon, because he is the owner and operator. Yeah, I know all the shops around here, if you do your pull list and you have over like 5 titles, they give you 20% off anything. And then like when Jason at the seller told me, yeah, I'll give you 20% off of anything you order, I was like, if I order trade, so like I ordered a giant Defenders omnibus that was, $100, and I got it for 80. It was cheaper than it was on Amazon. So, and where I give back to the community is, if I will pay more money for something from a local comic book shop just to stick it to Jeff Bezos, like I'd rather support them, So even if I had to pay $100 and it's on Amazon for 80, I wouldn't do it a lot. I wouldn't do it as often, but it's always good to help them out. Yeah, I never barter on pull lists. Like when I go in, I do my pull list, and then like sometimes I'll just be like, hey, you've had this. I've been trying to get Jason at the seller. He has a Guardians of the Galaxy omnibus for like the original Guardians. Real cool old book, and it's out of print, and it's $125. And I go in and like, hey, you want to sell that to me for 80 today, or hey, you want to sell for 75? I've been trying to convince him to let that thing go to me for cheaper, but look real good on my shelf. Whew. Which, guys, keep an eye out, because I've been reorganizing my comic shelves, and my comics have gotten so out of hand. I'm about to take my monitor, Switch, and Blu-ray player off of them. They may not go back up, and I have to make room for more comics.
Well, if you need somewhere to put that monitor, you let me know. I got somewhere I can.
No, I'll use it. I'll use it in a good monitor.
Yeah, it is
good for Smash. But HRG, yeah, man, dude, that frame they used to do on HRG and Heroes was great. The little like behind the eye looking past with what he was
Oh,
looking
am I
at.
getting close to where you can see the?
Not really.
Okay.
You're not like covering up.
I have a new position for the camera. I have it closer to me now, so that I can feel when I hit it. Like so.
It's you're like in the bottom right corner where the let's call it the hero cam, where we're in the shot. You'll see your glasses poke out just barely.
Okay.
It's not covering up enough of the art to matter. Your hand's covering up more, but that's just gonna happen.
Can't draw with my hand not there. We're about to start getting into the fun stuff here now.
Yeah, you're really cranking on this, man. You've only been going for 41 minutes. Maybe not even that, because we always got to shoot the breeze with you guys first.
Yeah. I like opening it up first with talking and showing some stuff, and I forgot. Like I finished a pretty big piece of B Movie Saga art.
Yeah, we can show that.
I can show it off at the end. I don't have it to where I can bring it up on screen, but I can show it at the end.
Anything that we ever do creatively, man, you can't just jump in. Like I never jump out of my car, come in here and throw my stuff down. Like, all right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about business and start writing. And you do art. It's always like, hey, man, I read this comic today. It's even with Dale. Every time we go over and talk, we just sit and talk for a while. Like he wants to. After talking to him for a while about reading Spider Girl, he's like, we need to do a Spider Girl reading group. We could have like a Twitter going for it or something. You know, just like he got into it. And it's like, I think that even though this is what we want to do and we all hustle at it, you've got to still remember why you enjoy it. And so you talk about it, you get hype about it, and you have fun with it. It should change the opacity on your hand. Wear a blue glove, and then we'll digitally edit it out. Yeah. Oh man, Tuesday, Friday hangouts were the bomb.
Yeah, they were.
I remember making TJ mad, saying that HRG couldn't take cigarette smoking man from X-Files and avoid which I 100% oh my god. Prophet says that he has 14,000 comics. That's single issue comics? Because like I think I have maybe about 300. I intentionally keep my singles super small. Like my single section stays super small. Trades, I'm just about to hit 600. But man, 14,000 comics, like
that's impressive.
I know that I think the day came when I had about, I think I was getting my 8th long box, and I was like, I got to do something about this. This is getting unwieldy. So I gave a bunch away to some people. Like we have a friend who wanted a bunch of comics and he couldn't afford them, so I gave away a huge chunk of my collection. And I'm glad he got to read them. When I see issues up on the tray, like on the key walls, and I'm like, that's a $120 comic now. I slipped up. Oh my god, Aaron said he's got 7,000 in singles.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that's over the past 3.5 years. Guess when I started working at the comic shop? Yeah, I collect some. Like right now I'm collecting the like 5 volumes of Spider Girl, and then I think there's 6 volumes of Nova, and I'm slowly collecting those. But those are more like, I don't do it with any kind of urgent determination to where I want to write, or like where I'm like on eBay day and night trying to get every single issue I have. It's more of like something to look for when I go out of town and shop at comic shops around.
One of
like
my favorite things to do when I go out of town.
Yeah, and it's always cool because I'd be like, oh yeah, I got this from this place and this from this place, and I like to especially like get a card from it and put it in the back of the sleeve when I have it, so I can remember where I got it from. I love stuff like that, so it's kind of cool. It's something to look for specifically, while instead of just, because sometimes I'll go in and just start looking at the key wall and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like it's gonna be bad. Gosh, Hayashi said he doesn't even know. He said I'm assuming he stopped counting at like 6,000. Yeah, I just, yeah, I can't collect that many. So I like things like Christopher Yost, what's his name? Christopher Yost and gosh, Stegman, and all those guys who did Scarlet Spider. I kept those issues. Hickman's Avengers, New Avengers Infinity, and Secret Wars. I kept all those. But then like I gave a huge chunk of like I gave away like all my Iron Man, all my Spider-Man, just pass them off to people. I mean, it said, gosh, 7,000 roughly. God. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's wild.
It's funny, for as much as I want to be a comic book artist, I don't have a lot of comics.
And most of the trades and issues you have, I bought for you.
Yeah.
Granted, Ashley, his wife, I remember she came to me like the first Christmas day together. She's like, I bought some random comics. Do you think you'll like them? And it was the complete set of Maximum Carnage. I was like, yeah, nailed it.
Still got all of them too.
And then we were in a comic shop one time when I don't know why you weren't there. Where the heck were you?
Y'all went to a convention and I couldn't go, and Ashley went with you guys.
And we hit a comic shop. That's right. I was like, hey, I want to go hit this comic shop. She's like, I want to buy a Scooter comic. And I was like, that's the first appearance of Archangel. People like that.
It's over there on my shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to get the first appearance of Elsa Bloodstone. And because I love her character. She is awesome. Way cooler than her dad, Ulysses Bloodstone. And I don't know why. Once again, Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning wrote it. But it's some short, like 4-issue thing they did in 2004, and all the issues are like $3 a piece, except the first one is like $2.50. So I've got to try to find it for a cheaper price. Hey, John.
John Hayes?
John Hayes.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Jay. Ooh, Mark said 4,600-ish.
That's a lot, guys.
Yeah, variant covers Hayashi or something that'll get me. I get excited and like want to buy them, and then you get into ones like there's a couple of Casada did a Superior Spider-Man variant that is pricey if you find it. I usually, Mark and I have an idea or a saying where we say it's a personal key issue, where it's something that's important to us. Like I just recently bought one that's, Mark can tell me the number. It's like 267 of Fantastic Four or something. And it's an issue where Reed Richard goes and gets Otto Octavius to help him with the delivery of his second kid. Great issue with Otto. And so I just like it because, once again, I like Otto Octavius. So it was a key issue to me. But I think I paid like $4 for it. It's not a pricey issue. I don't know what Prophet said, but he retracted a statement.
Uh-oh.
We never do something like that.
He said something like, I have Amazing Fantasy 15 and I live here.
Like, don't tell me that. We know you. We got your address to send this to you. Like,
this isn't going to show up at your door. It's going to be me showing up at your door.
Me in a UPS outfit. I'm just like, is this your package? And I just gas him. Oh, I gotta readjust. Oh. Sit down, brown and white. Nobody wants to pet you.
What's the matter? You ever seen a black and white before?
Oh yeah, Annie. Mark was actually showing sent Scoot and I a picture, and said one of his first comics was Wolverine Witchblade. Which I gotta say, yeah, it's very, very cool. There's also a new Instagram that just posts a bunch of stuff about Michael Turner, and they posted up his Tomb Raider #1, which I have.
Is that the like Turner art fans or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't follow him back. I probably should. Gosh, you're getting all of them CGC'd. So I said this is, I have a CGC high horse to where I don't like them. And it started when me, Scoot, and our brother in the chat, Brian, we collected Star Wars stuff. And the Action Figure Authority at conventions were always full. It was just a puckering of assholes. And like, I hated it because like, they're just a bunch of people who decided they know how to grade figures. And then they would just seal them and send them back to you. And then where CGC gets me is you're like, okay, here's this comic. It's 100, it's a $100 comic. It's a key enough issue that it breaks into 3 digits. But then you CGC press and they're like, oh, now it's 600. And you're like, what? I know it doesn't cost that much. Because Jamie The other owner of 901 Comics is like an official CGC guy and like all this stuff. Like he's got all these like
He's like a witnesser, right?
yeah, a witness for autographs and CGC stuff. And so like I was like, this is absurd. Like I know how much it costs, and like the fact that it jacks up the price that much. And then I'll be honest, I just don't like how they display. I feel like the case distracts too much, and also I've got too many and don't want to do that. There's a lot of things. So once again, it's my disapproval of self-appointed judges judging, and I just I don't support them that much. That being said, they do look cool pressed, and I'll probably do one with the Fathom cover, just because.
I've had one person that I did a commission for. Got the sketch cover slabbed. But I had to like sign a bunch of stuff. Like I had to sign this thing saying that I did it at this time and that's my signature.
Yeah, and speaking of like Annie said she never wants a witness for her autograph. She just wants the experience. And that's very true. And actually, like just today, I got a package back from Christos Gage. I think I mentioned it where he gave
Brad's
me
good friend Christos Gage.
He gave me a comic shop that's I guess near him. And he says send it to them and he'll sign them and send them back. And I sent him what I thought was a very nice, not super nerdy letter. And just telling him, you know, hey, I love your comics, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked him to sign 3 comics. I asked him to sign my Avengers Academy #1 that Mike McCone had signed. So I needed his signature. I got him to sign Fantastic Four, the Annihilation Scourge tie-in for Mark. And then I got him to sign, I don't know what issue it is. It's Amazing Spider-Man or something. Let me see. I'm gonna bring it up.
Over there on my shelf now.
Let's see. I usually don't look stuff up, but I want to get it right. So it's 661. And as far as I know, the Christos Gage has co-wrote tons of Spidey with Dan Slott, and he wrote tons of tie-ins. But as far as I know, the only mainline issues of Spider-Man he's written is 661. And so Scoot's a fan of Spider-Man, clearly one of his favorite characters. So I sent it for him to get signed. Avengers Academy, of course, was for me. And then Mark. Not only does Mark enjoy Fantastic Four, but he convinced me. I used to hate the Fantastic Four. I liked Reed Richards, hated the rest of them. But he slowly converted me and has made me a fan of the FF. So I thought it was fitting that I get that signed for him because Christos Gage wrote it. So Mark, now you have 4 signatures, and one of them was not purchased because Christos Gage wouldn't even accept. Like I tried to Venmo him money to pay for return shipping, and he refused it because he's a good guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, and super cool. And I asked him to personalize them because I was like, hey, I made it very clear. I was like, this is not me trying to sell comics. I mean, for one, autographs don't really bump up the value either, unless you got like Jack Kirby's signature.
Yeah.
It's not really going to do anything. And I was like, hey, can you put 2 Brad, 2 Scoot, 2 Mark on each one? And he did. So I was happy about that. And I'll get that to Mark soon when I can get my Scarlet Spider statue from him. He only bought it for me back in August.
Yeah, we still need a homemade pizza night at Mark's house.
Oh, let's do that next Saturday night. What's the next Saturday?
I'm not off next Saturday.
Fallen Dead. Because that's what the heroes do. Yeah, Mark. There's no way we weren't getting some books. I mean, I buy a bunch of comics clearly, and people from eBay send trades and comics in really great packaging. Because they want those 5-star reviews. And so I used one that was this heavy cardboard, and it cost me like $12 to send that thing to North Carolina. But worth it because they all came back in excellent condition. It went through some rain, obviously, and still survived. So yeah, it's and yeah, I like the experience. Probably one of my best experiences with an autograph was meeting Jeremy Bullock, who played Boba Fett.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you this, I am a Boba bandwagoner. I hated Boba Fett for so long. I was the one out making fun of Boba Fett fans. He showed up in The Mandalorian. I was like, I guess I was wrong.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
I was like, I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan. John's
Yeah.
wrong. And so I oh, gotta work Saturday.
That's a good reason, though, Mark. That's a good reason.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. We'll have to do a couple weeks out because we haven't had a Sal Haven Mark Winchester hangout in a while.
I still want you guys to watch that the comic book documentary.
Oh, we could definitely do that. But yeah, I was just but I met Jeremy Bullock because my best friend Justin was wanting to meet him, and we were at, was that Wizard World we went to? Wizard World Chicago?
Because the same, that wasn't the same one that I met Ray Park at.
Yeah, we no, that was late. That was earlier because we got the 25th anniversary silver Boba Fett toy that was exclusive, and Justin was like, I want Jeremy Bullock to sign one of these, and I was like, okay, well, I'll go with you. Shoot, I'll get him to sign. I've got 2 of them, and he was just the nicest guy. He treated every fan like they were royalty. He sat and talked to him. He wanted to take pictures with you. He wanted to hear where you got your figures, your prints, your whatever. And he said Wizard World 2003. But yeah, he was just super pumped, super nice guy.
He died last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed last year.
Rough.
Apparently he lived long enough to see Boba and The Mandalorian and really liked it.
Oh, good.
But then, yeah, meeting Ray Park, his line was buck wild.
Yeah, it was.
I remember sitting in that line. It snaked around. It reminded me of the scene in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and Scoot's like, don't worry, I'm British. I know how to queue up. And he just, like, stood in line for hours. We always have been a glutton for a good line. And I set off to the side, and that's when I had to be, what, like 10, 11?
And we were so young.
I was probably about 12, and that's when I was sitting over there, and he was like, are you all right? Would you like some sweets? And I was like, no, I'm good, sir. Mr. Ray Park.
Mr. Mole, sir.
Mr. Mole. Do a flip. And so he was very nice. Like I said, his line was so big, they could have been sliding stuff down, he signed it and keep you moving, and I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. He was taking, we've got a picture, we'll find that. We got a picture with Scoot with Ray Park when he was super young.
I had short hair.
Did you have short hair then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Sure did.
Gosh.
Good
If you guys, Scoot used to style his hair like Sting from wrestling before he
That
looked
was
like the Crow.
That was like kindergarten.
No, it was like kindergarten through 7th grade.
Whatever.
Scoot would just be out and go, woo!
Stinger splash random people.
Oh, man, I didn't know you met Jeremy Bullock too. That's awesome. Yeah, he was such a swell guy because I won't speak ill of the dead, but I caught Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, on a bad day, and he was just kind of grumpy. But for years I was a little bitter about it, but I heard everybody else say he was just the biggest sweetheart ever. Yeah. He was just super nice, and everybody's got a bad day, and then unfortunately it was 10-year-old Brad who did that. Mom said show Baby Scoot picture and said that nobody's ready for Baby Scoot picture on the stream.
We said we were going to show the Baby Scoot picture.
Corduroy overalls. Woo. That thing is something else.
Corey may want to make me part of the basketball team.
That man had come up. I mean, at that point when we met Ray Park, the Phantom Menace was a few years old, but people were still disrespecting him bringing Toad toys up there from X-Men.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What was that about?
Oh my God, apparently when Amanda met him, he was she had a Beatles shirt on. He was talking about when he met him. What a baller. Like, I mean, I'm not a fan of the Beatles, but what an icon to me. Like, that is great. Dude, that thing's coming together great.
So when I started to draw this last night, I was like, I know how I want it to look in my head. I was like, it's going to be so hard for me to do it. And then, because you remember that Venom or that Peter Parker turning in, having the symbiote take him over that I drew?
Oh, yeah, years ago. Didn't you do it for Buck?
Yeah. So I did that, and I was like, man, I really like how I did that and how it was like coming onto his face, like the symbiote was coming onto his face. And I was like, I want to do that, but I don't want to do a profile. I want to do I want to do a different angle.
You're not Wonder Woman 2014 Scoot. You know how to do different dynamic angles now. Hey,
So
Holly.
But I was like, how am I gonna be able to do this?
Of course, Holly makes it for the symbiote
Yeah. Hey,
stream.
Holly. I told Holly because I still have the commission to do for her.
Yeah.
That I need to do. I might just need to start doing these streams as commission pieces. Because I have one.
And auction pieces for local comic shops who need your support.
Yeah. And I need to do her commission. I need to do the Mr. Sinister for Mark. I probably won't do the Mickey Mouse one on stream but I am working on a Mickey Mouse commission right now. It's pretty fun.
I think, and this is gonna, of course, everybody's gonna. This is the whole part where we all joke where Scoot calls these things a sketch, but I think it keeps you from taking too long on these. Like you're like, I've got 2 hours, I got to do these.
Yep. It also too it kind of
motivates.
It forces me to do it. Like it forces me to get the blue lines done and figure out where I want to get it. Because sometimes, I'll just be sitting there, I'll be like, I don't know if I want to. This one's not going to be fun, and then I'll procrastinate on it, and I'll go to another commission when I should be doing that.
Yeah, this is like playing live music. You get up there, you can't choke, you got to perform.
Yeah. Last thing I want to do is draw an ugly picture on stream with you guys. And if it is ugly, you guys don't tell me. Don't hurt my feelings.
Lie to him.
Lie to me. Gonna be a lie. Lie to me.
I was gonna go for Harvey Dent. Lie. God, I lied.
Yeah, but y'all can basically see what I'm doing, so.
Yeah, because for anyone else, that'd be a finished picture.
Yeah, no. No, dog.
Yeah, I was oh, I said I was gonna put Dale's thing in the chat. Let me see. You're doing an ugly picture. It's impossible.
Who said that?
Holly.
Oh.
Holly.
I've done some ugly pictures. I've got Wonder Woman and still queued up. Do you guys need to see it?
Blitzkrieg Holly Bop.
Stupid.
Well, Bear said she named her kid Hale, so Hale Bop.
God.
Name it Yukatake.
Blitzkrieg.
So I'm dropping a name in an Instagram name in the chat. That's Dale Martin, who I'm doing the Dragon Templar with. Which you guys, his art style, like I said, he is the perfect example of how certain art styles shouldn't be compared. Yeah, because his art style is infinitely more simplistic, and I mean that in a good way. Not like not like when I draw simplistic because I can't do well. He is a master of his craft, and that the cartoon style he does is just so good. And he
really is a master at that, man.
Yeah, and so like he does like daily drawings, and he did like one of the things I posted, which was great, is he did the Inktober prompts, but he didn't want to just do it as prompts. He did it and told a story. So each day he would do a different panel, and it was a different picture for the prompt, and it told a story of this little guy he created. I can't remember if it has a name, and showed it progress throughout, and it's a surprisingly coherent story he did, because as far as I know, he was just kind of making it up on the fly, and he printed a book of it. Great stuff. Like, it's really cool. And like, what I like about it, me and him, when we were doing this Dragon Templar story, is how it happened is he had a piece of artwork. It's actually the last piece I posted of the dragon wearing the helmet, like the medieval helmet look. I saw that and I love that. And I went to a studio, an open studio, where he just kind of had you come in and look at his studios, and he has a wall of comics. So we just kind of sat and shot the breeze for a while. And at the end, the whole point I went over there was to buy a piece of original art. It was that dragon art. I loved it. It was just super cool. And I've got several pieces of his that I've bought over time. And I was just like, hey, do you still have that dragon piece? And, I want to buy it. And he's like, yeah, about $10. And I was like, okay. And I think I didn't even have the cash on me, and he paid for it. And I was coming out here because I think Scoot and I were either having a meeting or maybe we were doing an Instagram live stream, but I had it sitting in my passenger seat, and I just kept kind of looking at it. And anybody in the chat who writes, when an idea takes grip, you got to get it out. I guess the same for artists. When you see something in your head or you get that urge to draw, when something creative comes in your mind, for Dwayne, it would be music. When he gets a beat or something or a composition in his head, you got to get it out. And so I had this idea for this dragon. Why would a dragon be wearing armor? Or and I wrote this 8-page story to pitch it to Dale. And I sent it to him and didn't check my mail for like 3 weeks. I was so nervous because he's established. He's known in our community. He had a story in the same anthology we did, B Movie Saga, and honestly, his was probably the best story.
Yeah, for sure.
It was the best. I mean, it didn't have the most action, but it told a story from beginning to end. It was really well done. The tones he used were great. Really fun stuff, kind of depressing, but definitely great. It was about the Sultana, which is this shipwreck that happened right after after the Civil War, right on the Mississippi. So really great stuff. He actually sells comics of those too. But I sent him that thing, and finally he emailed me back, and I finally read the email, I guess I should say. And I was shocked because I was expecting to be like, "Hey, don't write stories for my characters. I create them." And like all he did was he was like, his email started out a little disheartening because like, "Hey, just so you know, if you write stories for other people's characters, it's still my intellectual property bubble." And basically gave me the thing, which I knew. I was never going to be like, "Well, he didn't like it, so I'll take it to somebody else." It was if Dale didn't want to do it, I wasn't going. But then he like gave me the whole like, "Here's the legality of characters." Then he said, "I like your idea. But," and then we started, and he went into how we could do it differently. He's like, your story you wrote almost seems like a second act of a larger story. Why don't we tell the first act? And it kind of became just his and I, like, it's like a relaxation thing. Like, we just go and we meet at this place called the Casual Pint and have a couple of beers and talk about this story, this Dragon Templar story. And we just did it for fun. We were like, we're not going to put a deadline on it. And we did this, I don't even know if you consider it Marvel method, because normally I'm used to working full script. Everything I do, I write Scoot a full script for. There's definitely, it's looser nowadays. It's not, I try not to be rigid, and I've gotten where I'm more comfortable just like, "Hey, here's the conversation for this page. This is the only thing that needs to happen. Do your thing." But Dale didn't want to do that. He did not want to work from a script because he's a writer, an artist. I mean, he does everything. So he wanted, what we do is we'd go and we'd pitch ideas to each other and be like, "Hey, this is the story we're going to write." And we will throw ideas back and forth. Sometimes email, a lot of times we meet up and we push back on each other's ideas, or, "Ooh, I like that, let's add it here." And it was this really strange collaborative idea. And what we do is while we're talking about it, he's drawing in rough panels and rough ideas and writing notes, and I'm just taking tons of notes. And when we split, he starts doing the rough pencils. I start working on the dialogue and the narration, and then he'll send me the rough pencils, and I'll do the word bubbles and narration block over it, send it back to him, and he'll do the final pencils, like tighten them up. And it's a very different way to write. And I don't think it both have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm used to like Scoot. With Scoot, he contributes more to the story than he talks about, even outside of design. Just talking to him about ideas or him asking questions when I'm, bouncing ideas off of him is invaluable. But in our fictional universes, I am the god. I am bound.
I don't even want to be the god.
yeah. I am bound in a nutshell and king of these infinite fictional spaces. But with me and Dale, they're two gods, and we have to agree on stuff. So like, I'll send him things, and he's like, even the dialogue in the front of this first book, I sent it to him, and he sent it back, and he's like, too pessimistic. And what it is with the Crusades, if you know anything about the Crusades, is they were not that awesome. The church, I mean, the church at the time, of course, was not awesome at all. not religious people in general, but Rome was not doing that good of a job of keeping up what they're supposed to. And so I was writing a real cynical view of the just war that they called the Crusade. And he's like, dude, we're not there yet. We're not in cynicism yet. We have to get through like the halcyon days where everybody thinks that everything's going well, and this is we're doing this because we're the instruments of God. And then you get into people questioning themselves. It's sort of like, gosh, especially World War One has some super depressing firsthand accounts. But if you know, like, and other places might have done it, but I know England for sure had this idea that sign up with your buddy and sign up with your, like, hey, Scoot, me, and Bear, and all of our people in our neighborhood that we grew up with, sign up and be a platoon and go out and fight in World War One, and then like either entire platoons would get wiped out and you would have no like of age men in these regions of England. Or what do I do when I'm in a war and I see Scoot take a bullet to the head? I mean, you think I'm gonna be like, oh, king and country, and mount the trench, and so there's things where the glow and glamour of war are removed, and you want to talk about that. You want to talk about the cynicism that comes along. But I had jumped to the shark and gone too early, and he was right. We had to dial it back and get back to that. And so it's good to have him bounce ideas back like that. Or like one time there's something we talked about with the dragon and how we were going to tell his backstory. And because the story of, I guess a small spoiler is, the dragon is clearly from somewhere else. He's from, we just say he's from where the dragons live. Something we'll never really, I don't think we'll ever really dive into, because I just wanted to kind of be like, he came down from somewhere and he meets this priest and he slowly becomes the priest. We have some fun ideas about how you show them meeting in like a monastery orchard, and the priest is young and he's out there, and this dragon comes out of nowhere, and instead of treating him like a monster, he treats him like an equal. And it's this thing where we kind of play with a reverse Garden of Eden. But then Dale was like, have you ever thought about us doing a scene where the dragon's baptized? And I was just like, whoa, how fun would that be? So like, it's fun that these ideas that I would never think of come up, or how he's changed a couple of characters and how they would be. And it's a very, very different collaborative effort. And that's also why his name is first, because he does a decent amount more than me. I mean, we could say 60-40, but it might be more like 30-70. So I'm definitely fine with my name being second. And he's also putting it out through his publishing company and things like that. So it's I'll talk more about like story details later once we have it out. But the first issue is great introduction to the team, and then once we have it out there, we can talk about that a little more. But the process is so very different, and we're getting now to where we're doing a little closer to Marvel method. Like, we'll agree, like, hey, this is the next story we want to do, and I'll write an outline. But it's compared to Scoot, where I'll have a 22-page issue, and the script is probably about 22 pages. I will write basically like a 2-3 page synopsis of like acts. I'm like, hey, first part is this, second part's this, third part's this. Here's some dialogue that may or may not make it in. Go. And then, oh, Corey's back. Oh yeah, Lisa sent me the color drawing of Wonder Woman 2014. But it's also we talked about a couple of streams back about Donny Cates' Thor, how the narrative voice in that is so exceptional. And when Dale talked about it, he said, hey, I want a narrator in this. And I was like, oh, like we can switch point of views from the characters narrating? He goes, no, I don't want the characters to narrate. I want a narrator. Like, the narrator is a character. And we're a bit of a generational gap between us. So like, he has a huge love for slightly older comics, and I'm more modern comics. And so I know what he's talking about, is because like, if you read the old Defenders or old Doctor Strange, and it'll be like, we catch up with Doctor Strange, the Master of Magic, at his New York brownstone, the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he's his Eye of Agamotto is cluing him in on a danger coming, but will the will it distract him from what's really bothering and it gives basically a play-by-play. It's almost like a radio drama.
That's a good way to put it.
And I am not a huge fan of that narrative voice. And I even asked him, I was like, can I do like a third person omniscient where the narrator knows everything that has happened, is happening, basically Dale or I, but we did it not a description of the events. And I hope you when you guys read this, please let me know how the narration went, because I came up with an idea and it's very influenced by Kate's, because he had such a good voice in Thor, and it's this idea of like drawing comparisons but explaining the events while not explaining the events, not like just saying, hey, they're going to battle, they started a battle, there's a dragon. It's one of those things where I love narration where you're like, what does this have to do with the story? Like, how is this driving the story forward? And then like halfway through you see how it all comes and ties together. Yeah, it's like the Clone Wars intros.
Yeah.
On Umbara, we all lose our childhood and have to become men. But yeah, so I've done that. I thought it was really fun the first one I did, and there's a gag with the narration in the second story that I really think lands, and so hopefully it'll land with you guys as well. Different stuff for fun, because like our other ones, like B Movie Saga, the anthology stories, the two stories we do, the shorter ones, don't have narrative voices. They don't have narration at all. But the first 3 issues swap between the characters. Collins narrates the first one, Grayley the second one, and Watney the third. And so it's fun to me. I love character narration. Like Spidey, a good Spidey narration is so good, because normally while he's swinging, he's just talking, like or if he's in a fight, he's doing his little quipping, and he's fighting, but in his head he's going through all of like his reality, like, oh my god, MJ is this and this, and then I'm gonna lose Aunt May and blah blah blah. And it's just like it's really fun how you can do that, 2 different voices coming out of a person, because I don't know about you guys, but the at least one of the voices in my head sounds different than how I speak to you, so you got to think about that with a character. Like, how do you plan out things in your head, or how do you talk to yourself in your head compared to how I talk to Scoot?
Brad walks around saying, "We are Brad."
Yeah, we are Brad.
How's everybody doing? Y'all hanging in there?
He said, Bear said, I find it wild that when you sketch a curved line, you sometimes do it with your hand outside of the circle. Blows my mind.
I don't.
Oh, you mean like, I guess on that tentacle, instead of doing it with the tentacle, he did it from, like, I think I know what he means.
You mean, yeah, I don't. I'd have to have you explain it. I'm not sure.
It's kind of like,
when I'm doing a curve, I do have a more comfortable way to do it. But sometimes I'm lazy and don't feel like turning the page. So
I have a similar thing, Bear, that when I watch Scoot do anything with a pencil, it blows my mind. It's definitely not my...
That's good. That means I'm doing something right.
Yeah, but we've talked about it before, is like, the reason you're good at this is, hopefully the reason I'm good at writing is because it's what we focus on. It's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Same reason Dwayne, like, I don't know if I've said this before, but like, I hear music, it's just a sound. It takes a lot for me to sit and listen and go, oh, that's bass, that's drum. It's just like, this is just a song, and it's all together. And so for Dwayne, and you for that matter, because you do music as well, the idea you can sit and like decipher music or learn to play a song just from listening to it is just uncanny to me.
I mean, I feel the same way with you writing. Like,
yeah. He said most of the times you use your palm as the center, but sometimes you don't. So like usually when you do a circle.
Oh, I got you. So like doing like this right here, as opposed to doing like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is more comfortable to do it with your palm as the center. So because you have that little pivot, but
yeah. Corey said long curved lines are the most fun to ink when you nail it. And Corey, a dirty little secret. I tried to ink for a little while. Like after, like when I was trying to get Scoot to stop inking, like maybe I can teach myself to ink. And I tried it, and dude, doing those, like, you've got to, Scoot always say, you got to commit. And it's like, you got to put that pen and then immediately start moving it. And then, gosh, the adjusting weight lines and where to drop your pen and how to not let it bleed. It's rough.
That's why when anybody says that inking is tracing, they just clearly don't know what they're talking about. You got to commit to those lines. Like with me with a pencil, I can sit here all day and do this line like this, and it's okay. But not Corey. He has to have one long smooth line, and it can't be shaky. You know, it's almost like tattooing.
Yeah, and that's Corey recently. Oh man, we should have shown that Bear Brian. We call him Bear. Brian Starnes in the chat.
I've got it.
We call him Bear, but well, I was gonna show the full inked version. I mean,
oh, I can.
Don't worry.
At the end, I can. Yeah, at the end,
back to work.
Sorry, guys. I'll be quiet now.
But Bear, our brother, his talent. Gosh, I don't even know. Bear's almost our jack of all trades with his craftiness and his ability to create stuff. But he has an architectural school background. So he's very, very methodical and mathematical, and so he likes to design logos. And I asked him to do B Movie Saga back in 2017. They came to us like, hey, you need a logo for your comic, and I was like, what? And
I was like, I don't do logos.
Yeah, we don't do logos. And then he wanted to take a swipe at it, so I gave him a few parameters. I was like, I want it to feel like old school space, some of those old science fiction stories. And I think the only other thing is I said I don't want it to feel like Star Wars. And that's nothing against it. We clearly love Star Wars, but that's not the feel I was going for. And and Bear brought us, gosh, at least 6 or 7 different logos. I've still got copies of all of them. And the one that we use now is what I liked. And at the time, we were once again working on a crazy tight schedule, and he drew it out and he inked it, but he inked it with just like a normal gel pen or something. So it was rough, and not of no fault of his own. It's just those pens are not made for inking. And so I took it into GIMP and tried to do a little digital editing and clean it up. And on the page, it looks okay. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. And but you could definitely, it's one of those things where most people would look at it and probably not care, but we knew it could be better. So recently we asked him to redraw it, and my God, first of all, it was so clean. Those pencils were so perfect and clean. And then he explained to us how he did it based on all these like curves and how he plotted it. And I was just like, and the thing about it, like, dude, he drew both of the letters. He could have just drawn one flat one and had Corey dupe it and put it underneath the other one. He drew both of them, and then Corey got in there, and he inked it digitally, and now it's just exceptional. We posted it on our Instagram, so we don't have it up, but it's once again bringing it into where all of our family always does creative stuff. Whenever we have a booth again, I guarantee Annie's going to be there in costume. It's what we do. Annie colors on the side, fun and recreationally, but she is a costume wizard. Does great stuff, builds all of her costumes. She is not a store-boughter. She's
award-winning, literally.
And for that matter, that comes from Mom, because I don't think we ever had a store-bought costume.
Ever.
And in hindsight, it might have been cheaper to just store buy them, but
they were always so shitty.
Yeah, and they're like, here's this fabric, man. I wish we had pictures of us as the Reptile and Scorpion, or no, Sub-Zero. Excuse me, you were Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I was Sub-Zero.
But like our mom always made us costumes. I remember one of my earliest memories. God, I had to be like 2 or 3, and I had a bat costume. Like I was so like had this cool jumpsuit she made with bat patterns on it, and I had the big bat wings that I could hold out. It's super cool stuff. Hey Matt. Welcome in.
Hey Matt, what's up, man?
So yeah, creativity runs deep, and we all try to channel it in. And I think if Bear had kept drawing with the same intensity and determination that Scoot did, he would be one of those psychos who draws Transformer comics. Where like people, they always like go in and they're just like, hey, I see you draw concepts for airplanes. You want to draw a Transformer comic? And he's just like, yeah, sure. It is always like the craziest, most detailed stuff. So, I and so that's like the old stickers we had for Atlas. He drew the logo of that. That'll be the next one we redo. But we include everybody in our stuff and just have fun with it.
Gotta have fun first and foremost.
Aaron said my mom made me a Ninja Turtle costume when I was 5. It was incredible. The shell was made out of a bike helmet with fabric over it. That's awesome.
Hey,
That's
Nathan,
a great
what's up?
idea. Yeah, that's
super cool.
that is such a good idea. The bike helmet is such a wonderful idea. Yeah, we had all kinds of stuff like that. Like we had when we did the ninja thing, my mom was just like, I can't find a pattern, but I know how to do that. And like just figured it out and made them in one day. I don't think what else we were.
I was
We did all kinds of
Dracula
stuff.
a lot.
She made Sailor Moon costumes for Anne and her friends. Oh, Brian was our brother was a Confederate soldier once. Whoops.
Yeah, he was. Whoopsie.
There is a cover for the Atlas Beetle somewhere. Corey asked about it.
Oh, yeah, there is. Oh, my neck.
Mark said he's gonna make a Ninja Turtle costume now. Oh, we did make the ghost catcher out of cardboard boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Vacuum cleaner hose.
We've always been a fan of making props, too, you know? Like, I love making props.
Yeah, that was I was thinking about that when I made the ears for Rachel for Chi.
Yeah.
That was her name, right? From Chobits.
Yeah.
And like I look back on them, like I think they still hold up, but like man, I can make them where they open now and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I could do it way better.
Like every time Halloween comes around, I start getting an itch to make something.
Yeah, it's always like or late May and then Halloween where we get the urge to make a costume.
Working on a side project today that I've actually been working on for years.
Amanda said if we need a B Movie Saga site, we'll probably need a Brute Studio site, Amanda, but we'll get with you that soon.
Yeah. You know how to make websites?
Yeah, she does.
Like we don't have to outsource anything but inks and colors. But basically,
you're not allowed to ink.
Corey and John are extended family now, so
Yeah. Huh, that's weird, Aaron, because Halloween is bigger than ever around here. Like, it's trick-or-treating's not as big. I think we went through the peak of Halloween trick-or-treating in our generation, and now it's not quite as big, but parties are huge. And then, like, between pumpkin spice life and people, like, in spooky time, man, I'm over here as the last guard, the last man on the hill, defending summer, where I'm like, I love summer, let's get out here and sweat and swim and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking next week the behind me will be decorated for Halloween. Ashley's already started it on the door, but I think we're gonna go full born spooky in here.
I think my go-to joke is I'm gonna be Dr. Manhattan for Halloween, but I'm gonna need a little digital
There'll
help.
be no swing.
Oh, Brad, I guess it is a cold October. Like, no.
No, it's normal.
It's how it is.
There's a reason we have good personalities.
Corey said he's going to legally change his name to Corey Starnes.
Do it. Although your signature is really cool because it looks like a crown.
Aaron, I think this is, you need to listen to Michael Jackson on this one. Be the man in the mirror. Be the change you want to see. Just start throwing wild bangers of Halloween parties and get it going. Damn, didn't Halloween originate over there? Like Samhain and shit? Like, yeah, it's no, maybe Halloween is dead around here. We just always throw a good party.
Well, yeah.
Usually it's this is actually like odd year Halloween parties are usually where I get trashed and hung over for 2 days. But
Yeah, we'll see. We're still
Scooter Junior King.
trying to still see if we can make one happen here this year.
Oh yeah, we can. Who cares? Let's do it.
It's more like, am I going to be able to be off for it?
Oh, Colin dead. I feel I had the dream the other night of where you quit work, and so I'm thinking it's prophetic and it's coming soon.
Somebody at work that's been there for a little while put in their 2 weeks. And it was like
Inspiring.
it was. I was like,
You did like the Terrence Howard roadie as you were watching. Be like, next time.
and it was the day too that we announced the Fathom cover. So like my email was blowing up, and I was like, "This is the life I want."
Yeah, it's I have been very tired recently, and it's because between like my run group, which I don't talk about a ton in here, but we do a lot of stuff, and it's not just training. Like we're training for 50Ks and stuff, but we do like community stuff, and we plan events, and we got our next run, our first like official run, like 5K and thing is next week. There's a lot of work we put into it. I went out and passed out flyers and walked around Cooper Young Fest today for that. So it's like we always are doing something. We work on stuff, and that makes me very tired. But it's like I never regret that. I'm happy to lose sleep or be a little tired to do like the side hustles that give me hope that life doesn't have to be
Renting out heavy equipment.
Exactly. I'll like Nathan out here. Get out of here trying to ask how much he owes us for that Fathom cover.
Yeah, get out of here.
Sometimes oh man, yeah, so Friday's arm day. So if I can talk about fitness for a little bit with you guys. Friday's arm day, and we usually shake it out by playing a little basketball. We go in there, it's about 5 dudes, and we're just like, hey, we can take this side of the court. We just shoot around. We just have fun. We're not good. We are not good basketball players. But they're like, hey, you guys got 3 people. You want to play a little 4-on-4? Guy named Kenny's like, yeah, man, I'll play on your team. I was like, dude, we're not good. You don't want to play on our team. And I was going to kind of wuss out. And Will, who we'll get him on here once. He's a big buff nerd. You guys will love him. He comes up and he says, yeah, no, we'll play. I was like, we're about to get stomped. We just finished an hour-long workout. We were supposed to be cooling down. And boy, we balled for like 15 minutes and just played first to 10. And we got beat. We lost. It was 10-7. We lost. But the first point of the match, we were going down. Guy passes the ball to me. I line it up, and I drained a 3.
Oh, yeah.
On that dude. Some dude. I took his soul. It was like Shang Tsung. I pulled it straight out of his body with that shot. And I didn't make a single 3 after that. But
every bit of sport Brad had in his body was used for that one moment.
Bear's coming to arm day next week so that he can show up and beat him. And yes, Aaron, I am indeed looking for a first print. I'm pretty sure Edge of Spider-Verse. Number 2. I'm looking for a first printing. But yeah, it was very fun to it's very fun to get challenged to that kind of stuff and get nobody was dunking on anybody, but
y'all are white, weren't you?
No.
Okay.
Actually, me and Victor were the only white folks there.
Nice.
Couple, I think it was 3 Asian folks, Hispanic gentleman, and Will is African American. Yeah, Justin called me LeBrad James. Not the worst nickname I've ever had. Ooh, Aaron, I'd buy that off of you. I'd buy it from you for a good price. For sure. Oh yeah, Holly's mom, when she first met, she's like, "Oh, are you the artist?" I was like, no, she looks so her face lit up, and I was like, "No, ma'am, I'm the writer." And she's like, "Oh, well, here's a heavy box. Carry it out and help her move." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, ma'am. It's okay. For years, Scoot and I had the classic dynamic of him being like the tall, bigger guy, and I'm like the little guy who's like small and feisty, like, let's get him tiny, and I'm just like yelling, and I'm the loud when I'm obnoxious. I'm out in front, and so it's okay. Let Scoot's art and his skill take the spotlight.
Yeah, because usually when people ask me something, it's like, I hear you draw. Do you design tattoos? All the
Oh,
time.
she did not, Holly. I'm clearly exaggerating. Your mom was a sweetheart to us. My first move of the year. I'm up to 3 times helping people move house, and I don't know. Hopefully that'll outweigh my normal sins and get me a free pass into the old H, the big H.
Hell.
Oh, was that oh, she saw your Fathom cover and asked if you use Holly as the model.
Yeah,
That's great.
she told me that.
Well, that's
That
good.
that one that it was that sketch card I did of Aspen,
Oh yeah.
and it does resemble her.
Yeah, that's not far off. Yeah, for sure. And she no, she did say that when she first met me. She's like, "Oh, you're the artist." I was like, "No, ma'am." Uh,
No, he's always at work.
yeah, Holly. That Annie and my mom moving wasn't too bad. We actually between the 3 of us, we got to well, me, Scoot, and Bear showed up, and then Ann and Mom were helping, of course. My mom is not a senior citizen. I don't care what AARP says. She's a baller and gonna ball her whole life. Um,
And she's all of 5 feet.
Yeah, Mom, I did not get
Yeah, Nathan.
none of it. We all got our height from our dad's side because Grady wasn't tall either.
Our dad used to have a bumper sticker that said, "Yes, this is my truck. No, you can't use it to move."
Yeah, and then he'd help everybody move.
Yeah. Is we looking good? Yeah, we're still looking good on time.
Yeah, you were crushing it, man. Yeah, Aaron, I'm sure I told that story before, but he asked if I had the Edge of Spider. So I have the second printing, and it's just kind of because it came out, and the guy forgot to put it. Jason forgot to put it in my pull box. Like, hey, I forgot to put it in there, and I was like, hey, no big deal, man. Just second printing, throw one in there for me, please. And he's like, oh, cool, no problem. And who knew that Spider Gwen was? Well, I guess you could tell. She had a cool design. Her design is traditional enough Spider-Man, but the hood's super cool and the all white, super fun. So yeah, I should have known, but mainly wanted for Spider UK because Aaron, there's no way he's not. I don't care if he's still dead. When we write Captain Britain Corps, he's showing the hell up. Like, because there's even a great thing in the first Spider-Verse, Spider UK, when they're all fighting and kind of falling out, he was like, hey, there's this huge thing going on. He's talking about the incursions that the Captain Britain Corps were trying to help stop. And he's like, I decided to come help these spiders because, I thought the Captain Britain Corps had it covered, and I should have helped them instead. And he's kind of torn between these two superhero worlds. And then he goes to leave. All the spider totems are going back to their own universe, and the Weaver tells him he can't go back to his because it was destroyed in an incursion, and so his universe is gone. And it's something I really don't think they explored enough in the comics. They showed a couple of times because he had to live on the Loom world with the Master Weaver because he didn't have a universe anymore. And it's just like, dang, like it was such a good source of why maybe he needed the team more than everybody else needed the team of Web Warriors. And I just think they didn't yeah, and he said we do a Marvel 11. He's such a cool design. I mean, like, once again, I love that. I forget who designed it. Maybe it was Ed McGuinness when Dan Slott said he wanted a Spider UK, and Ed McGuinness, or maybe it's somebody else, designed Spider Punk. And he was like, "No, I said Spider UK." Is like, dude, Punk Rock is it started in England, and started in in the UK, and then he's like, no, I want like a Captain Britain Corps guy. And he's like, oh, and he's like, but we're still using Spider Punk because he's an awesome design, which I gotta agree, he's amazing. But I love the simplicity where he has the spider suit, but the Union Jack is built into it. It's just, it's one of those things where I would have never thought of that. I'd have never been like, hey, Scoot, design me Spider UK, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna use the flag. Like, he probably would have just looked like Spider-Man, just maybe slightly different. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not much of a designer
ooh,
either.
pizza
So.
time.
Pizza. Ooh, hey, Hashi, send me some pizza.
Sounds good.
That does sound.
See, Holly. Yeah, we'll let you know when he does your book, and you can come over and hang out and talk comics with us, talk about costumes and shiz. But yeah, I like Spider UK. Once again, Spider UK fits into my character model I normally like Cyclops and Rhodey, where they're the straight characters. The characters who just like the Boy Scouts, they do good because they're supposed to. They're the leaders because they need to be the leaders, and they usually get overshadowed by like the Wolverines. Is it Memphis Spider-Man? I don't even know, what would Memphis Spider-Man be.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm with you, Aaron. Same. I don't even know. He'd probably carry a gun.
he would for sure.
Bass Pro logo on his suit.
No, get out of here.
Oh my god.
Who said that?
Nathan.
All right, ban him.
Yeah. Looks like Nathan is going in the penalty box.
Good old timeout.
Is it Spider-Man? Yeah, there's so much. You could go the Crunk, the Memphis rap scene, or you could go Elvis if you wanted to, because
Blues, yeah.
don't care what Tupelo says. That's not okay. Elvis was born there, but he called Memphis home, so get over it. But I actually, Scoot and I have mildly designed a spider totem of our own, which we will not name on stream because it's one of those things where I had an idea of how to do the third act of the spider, because there's Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon, and I wanted the third act, and I have a character that would play a major role in it. It would be a established Marvel character, but with spider powers in his universe, his or hers, and and so he drew me a base template, and I've been toying around with design on it. Wild manner, dude. So Matt, we actually did that one time. We had a bunch of us like creator groups, and we did this pitch where we're like, let's pitch a comic idea. It was just to kind of get the creativity going in the group, and then kind of play with the idea of how to develop an idea alone. And we did an idea of like this superhero who lives in Memphis, who is an Elvis impersonator for their day job, and it was this really great thing where like the villain finds out who he is because he drops his gaudy sunglasses as he's leaving some scene with him, like after he fought the villain for the first time, and so the villain starts targeting Elvis impersonators and killing them, and the guy's got to stop him because people are dying because of his mistake. It was a really fun like a bunch of Memphis folks making fun of Memphis, but in a kind of fun way. Elvis Parker. It's actually Elvis's twin who died in utero, and he comes back as the spider. Oof, man. I think Annie's colors might have helped that Wonder Woman picture.
Would you stop looking at it?
I can't help it, man.
Some things can't. Damn, that fly just like suicide bombed in my face.
It's that spider or that Wonder Woman is like the Joker. Look at me. Sorry, I shouldn't be responding to Instagram stuff on here.
You guys get on to Brad. Making that day.
If it's any consolation, I'm trying to get creative comic stuff going.
That's good.
Yeah. My God, the chat is blowing up here. What is happening? Justin Timberlake, yeah, he's from Millington, Memphis. He's a majority owner of Grizzlies of some sort, I think. Which is fun. I like bandwagoning with the Grizzlies just because Memphis has that Napoleon complex where we get like to yell at or like we get like the big brother Nashville overshadows us, and so we do our own thing. Back to have pizza answering. Man, Hayashi is living it.
What's he say?
He said he's back with pizza in the stream.
Oh man. You know what?
Philip said, "How did Elvis's brother die from a Nirvana album?"
Get out of here, Philip. Every time Philip gets in here, I have to tell him to get out of here. Speaking of pizza, what's everybody's favorite food? Mine is pizza. So
I have no sense of smell, so I don't know if I have any like real attachment to it. So.
When conventions come back in, you guys can bring me pizza.
Isn't Elvis? What's Elvis's middle name? Isn't it Aaron?
Aaron.
Aaron. Yep, Elvis Aaron Presley. He's not as cool as you, Aaron. Sorry, I know that's a betrayal to Memphis, but Aaron's way cooler. Maybe. Well, we need a video of him shaking his hips first. Get that TikTok going.
Man. Yeah.
I can show off my quads. You can do an Elvis impersonation. Post it for us.
Did you guys all see my story with Brad in it today?
Yeah, somebody made a meme about me stalking people on a trail. It was a friend. It wasn't like some rando. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not that well known. That's why I put the Scoot is Life, Scoot is Love up.
Oh, did you? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I posted it up right before, like 5 minutes before we went live.
Oh, dang, I missed it.
Just know that if you ever work for Brute Studios, you're required to send us some form of unfortunate or awful picture. We don't have any kind of weird ones for Bear, but we could have shown the picture of me powerbombing him when I was like 4 foot tall.
I've got a picture of Bear on my phone from one of our Halloween parties where I did a panoramic shot, and he looks like he has a shrunken head. It's terrifying.
Oh my God, Bear's university ID.
There it is.
He looked like the circus freak with a pinhead. Like it's unfortunate now because like you realize they were profiting off of somebody who had a mental deformity, but Bear looked just like it. It was scared. What is Russell doing to your stuffs? He's doing something weird.
They always do something weird.
Yeah. Is this not their natural state? Yeah, let me see what Bear's just handsome, and so it doesn't really come across as getting weird pictures. Have the one of him of me powerbomb, which is just cool.
Yeah. I've
got our wrap cover where we did the color run.
We still need to do the put the backyard wrestling video on here.
Oh my God, yeah. Like all I've got are cool pictures, like when we were running or when we were at that arcade. Like we went to an arcade and everybody's like, yeah, guys, let's go drink. It's like a beer. They call it the beer cade. It's like there's beer and free arcades, and me and Bear found the X-Men arcade and did not drink for the entire night. We just sat over there playing that game for like 4 hours. Oh.
That game is so good.
Nathan said, I filled out my PSAT and misspelled my name, and for a decade I got college mail ads to Mathan. Hey, math, how you doing? Mate, dog, and wolf.
So I bought a couch from Ashley Furniture, and I got the Ashley Furniture credit card when I did it. And I filled out the application, but the lady put in my name as Daniel Starves. So now my credit card says Daniel Starves on it.
Ooh. Matt said, here's a good question for Brad. If there was a series you wish you could do a follow-up run on, what would it be? 100% Superior Spider-Man. I know that it ended with Otto going back to being Otto, but man, I say that Superior Spider-Man definitely. I've written a synopsis to do a like a pitch document to do a follow-up on Avengers Academy, because they did Avengers Academy and when it ended they did Avengers Arena and Avengers Undercover, which kind of tore down a lot of stuff. And with Hank Pym, last I saw him, he's still connected to Ultron, and I had this whole idea of the Avengers Academy students who loved and respected Hank Pym as their mentor coming together to try to save him, to separate him from Ultron, and how it would play in. I've got the names for the it could be like 3 issues, and definitely if I couldn't convince Marvel to let me do Superior, like somehow put Otto back in a spider body, to or even just play with the idea like maybe he does it through some other way. I would love to do an Avengers Academy run, but that 100% I would not do Avengers Academy if Christos Gage wouldn't approve. Like, I'd be like, dude, I need your approval for this. I can't
Recognize me, senpai.
Oh, I forgot Bear's middle names. Or Anthony.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be Aaron Anthony or something like that.
Aaron Scott.
Aaron Scott, star and shit.
His initials would have been ass.
Which would have been rad.
Oh, Phil said, like when that guy David married Ashley. the priest said the wrong name at Scoot's wedding, so I think they're actually not really married.
We can get married again, get all those gifts.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a few, like, I always say if I can write licensed stuff, I know this isn't a follow-up issue, it's not the same thing you said, but I would love to write a comic adaptation of the Incredible Shrinking Man. The movie actually, like, oddly, our mom used to watch a lot of monster movies with us, and I think it was a way of, like, she likes old movies, like classic movies, and we'd kind of meet in the middle and watch classic monster movies.
Yeah.
And Incredible Shrinking Man is always such a fun movie, that I think I have an idea of how to make it fun as a comic. But if I could write an ongoing series, I would love to write a Person of Interest. That TV show was so good. I always say it might have been the last great long form 24 episode per season Aaron sent me a picture of him. Here you go, Scoot. There's Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you just get out of Sunday
Aaron.
school in that picture?
Yeah.
This is adorable.
Were you just getting paddled in that picture?
Oh, I Person of Interest, I have so many ideas of how to pick that series up, like start the comic after the end of the television series and just keep it going, and how to pull in like legacy characters.
Legacy?
Gosh. I think it would be really fun. I don't know, what do you guys, what would you, oh, Bear's right, Twilight Zone would be good. I want to do, I'm so scared of touching Rod Serling's perfection that's why I wrote my series and called it Submitted for Your Approval, so I can like homage him, but I never want to think I can do as good a job as he did. JMS wrote a 3-volume Twilight Zone series back early 2000s, maybe mid 2000, like 2010 or so, and his narrative voice was so Rod Serling, it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. Oh no. She said back in grade 6 I was getting school photos and I couldn't hear the lady asking for my last name. I thought she was asking for my grade. And now that year my name was Nathan, grade 6.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god, and Corey is a licensed minister. Well, if I ever get married, we got that sealed.
Whoa. Where'd you buy that from?
By Aaron Thomas. or Adam Thomas. Oh my God, just mess up both of your names. Matt Nick said the DJ at his wedding messed up his wife name 3 times. Goodness gracious, like we used to do cater tons of weddings, and they always got to know what the names of the people on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're gonna remember them. They do so many weddings that you guys all blend together. Trust me. This sounds bad. You guys, weddings are an incredibly special event, once in a lifetime. You deserve to be happy. You just for you. For us, and that's something that, like, as caterers, we had to stop and remember. Sometimes we're just like, oh, it's another wedding, another day, and you're like, no, this is not just another wedding. To someone, this is everything. So you have to stop and remember it's special. But it was also where I loved when we did it for so long, and I was like, oh, it's that DJ. I know what first 5 songs he's gonna play, and one of Mom's friends was like, "No, you don't." And I was like, "He's gonna play this, 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 and this. It is probably gonna be in that order." I was like, "How white is the audience?" Yeah, he's playing Mustang Sally first.
Oh yeah.
And
it's like in Wedding Crashers, we got a crier.
And then I loved it because when he was on like song 3 and I was 3 for 3, she's like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" Corey said he's performed 3 marriages. That is wild.
Are they still together?
Oh yeah. Hey, what is your record for those 3 marriages, Corey? How long did they last? Hashamashi. What? A grade 9 shop teacher used to call me Mr. Hashamashi. Like, did you correct him? Huh. Corey, is it the Universal Life Church? Aaron is okay. So whenever I get married, it's gonna be a big Brute Studios event. I need everybody who's a legal officiator to take it over. He said, "Oh, roommate just got divorced." Only 2. 2 for 3. Good job, Corey. That is awesome. Oh my God. Yeah, I hope instead, I hope his name, I don't know, what's a funny name you can mess with? I hope you started saying his last name wrong. Like, thank you, Mr. Sterniez. Like, just keep trolling him back.
Must be a lot happening in the chat.
Yeah, there's what was it, a haunted house?
That sounds awesome.
I shouldn't be I shouldn't be it's, I don't know, maybe it's the fact that mostly we hear about his kids are like, he's a straight-laced young man with the kids and the family. We hear all these wild stories.
Did you watch the video of him with his band earlier?
I didn't actually watch it. I was running.
I watched it twice.
I've got stories, fellas. Yeah, we were talking about I was telling the story of how I got hit on by 2 gay guys in France. I think I told that story on stream. But it's one of those stories where, like, at the time I thought I was gonna die, and now it just makes for a solid story. There's usually near-death experiences make for good stories. There's our grandfather once Grady probably didn't really need it. The hospital probably made him take it because Grady didn't need anything. But he had a wheelchair, just a standard little pushing wheelchair. And for some reason, they left it at our house out in North Memphis. And Scoot might have been the first extreme wheelchair. He was he could balance on that thing and jump and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And just being like dumb kids, we were probably like 6 and 7. And Scoot was on it just wheeling all day on it, and I just pushed him as a joke, and he went straight down our inverted driveway and almost got run over by a red sports car.
Brad's almost killed me a few times.
The times I've almost killed you are way more than you've almost killed me. Yeah. So yeah, near that stuff's always fun.
No one's ever said that sentence before. Near death stuff is always fun. Put that on a shirt, sell it up, we're gonna be rich.
Moses' brother. Somebody said, haha, your name is Aaron, like Moses' brother, and my response was, God, I wish your mother put you in a basket down the river like Moses.
God.
Oh yeah. I sent Nathan a picture of one and only with the mouth emoji the other day. Oh yeah, there's I don't know if I've ever married somebody in an haunted house kind of story, but got some funny ones that are always good to tell. Some of them you pull and use for.
I feel like if we had once the pandemic's over and we all kind of meet up and we all hang out, I feel like I'm going to be the most boring person there.
No,
I'll just keep drawing. You guys tell your
roach story, killing a roach naked. Those
are
always
that's a good one, yeah.
And then like that's what our first brute the first brute summit is just we're just gonna have like the campfire where we all tell stories. I'm just gonna be sitting around taking notes. You're gonna see your story show up in a comic somewhere.
And that part's true. We will really be around a campfire in my backyard, probably.
I guess depending on the time of year. If it's summer, nah.
Yeah, no. We'll be playing volleyball.
We'll just have a spotlight or something out there. 92 hours in, looking good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've literally just got a few pieces to do on the tongue here. Just like last week, I ended with the tongue. It's probably the most line-heavy part.
Yeah. I looked on Instagram, and Hallowfood already has it inked, so... I think you need if you're still in the chat, Hallowfield, you need to do that next time. It's just screenshot him while he's drawing and he can post it before. you get to see like 3 lines.
Little do you know, you're a running joke in our group chat. Anytime I send something, whether I've shared it or not, it's always like, I bet Hallowfield's got it inked already.
Oh, and Aaron's secondhand stories are just fine. I've seen a lot of stuff where I just watch and I'm just like, oh, well, I'm glad I wasn't part of that story, but at least I can, witness it. Oh my God, he said it. All right, Scoot, I'm going to read a comment. Don't look at it.
Not.
At the first get-together, I can tell you the story of one of the nights I almost died taking ecstasy. Who said
Definitely
that?
Corey.
That was Corey. That was Corey.
Man, oh man. I will never have any story that lives up to anything that you have to tell me, Corey.
Corey's like, yeah, we did that. And I'm like, one Scoot and I drank a whole carton of milk in one day.
Did that today, actually.
Yeah. That was our joke, always our joke with our dad, because he always, he was strict with us, not like overly punishing strict, but he always wanted us to behave and be good kids. But then like one day we come into the living room, there's some dude we'd never seen, and he's like, hey guys, meet this guy, he's my old friend, we used to steal watermelons together. And I'm like, you hypocrite.
Yeah.
How
got to be shitting me.
How dare you? So I stayed out past 9 o'clock, and you and this guy stole fruit? Like,
yeah.
Get off. Oh my god. Aaron said, held a party at my house, proceeded to watch my kids go out to the public road to see if they could set it on fire. They damn well tried.
Dude,
Can you say,
fire scares me.
Oh yeah. Oh, so that's a good story. So we lived out in the country for a long time out in Millington, and it had its great moments. We described it because we made a Molotov cocktail out there just to test it. That's how remote it was. Across the street from us was a field, and God, what was that? Probably like 20, 30 acres. It was a huge field, and they every year
huge dry field.
they would grow they would grow the grass out there to 6, 7, 8 feet tall, and then they would bale it and turn it into hay and sell it to like farms and stuff. But we were out there during 4th of July, and of course, like real Americans, we were shooting huge fireworks, having Roman candle wars, and our friend comes over and he's like, hey guys, I got a flare gun. And we're like, okay, cool. So let's see it. And
let it be noted that I was the only one that said it was a bad idea.
No.
I said it was a bad idea.
And and our friend, I was like, yeah, we'll fire it off. Let's see this flare. And he shoots it and didn't realize there was going to be some kind of like buck to it, like kickback. So he shoots it, poof. And the first one lands on our roof. So we have to get on our roof and check it out. So, okay, no big deal. It went up high enough and arced. And by the time it hit the roof, it was really just like cinders and went out. So the next time we're like, hey, let's shoot this flare into our mailbox. And so our brother Brian goes up, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, don't be stupid. If you shoot it directly into the mailbox, it's going to bounce back and hit you. So turn to the side. So this hole went from probably a foot big.
No, it wasn't even a foot big.
To
dude,
about
that thing had to be 8 inches wide.
Like the laws of geometry, he turned his aim and it shrank to like a 3-inch hole he had to nail. And he fired the flare gun. It missed the mailbox by like 2 feet. Hit that field that is nothing but brush,
straw.
dry grass. And it hit the grass and didn't like hit and like it hit and it detonated, and there was just immediately this massive fire. So me and Brian take off and just run, because it was we had to run around to the driveway to go in there, and we're trying to stomp this fire out, and it was scary big, and it was spreading fast. And then we finally stomped this thing out after it was probably a good 20 minutes of effort. And then we come back and Scoot looks frazzled. He looks like
I was terrified.
A bomb went off next to him. And apparently we heard from Bear's wife that he had run to grab the hose, and he's like, the hose won't reach, the hose won't reach. So he grabbed a bucket. He's like, the bucket's not going to be enough. And he was just like,
and I was barefoot. I was like, I don't have shit. Yeah, dude. I was
like,
literally running back and forth, just trying to figure out how to put this fire out, but nothing I was going to do would work.
Yeah. So like, he was just, I melted the bottom of one of my shoes doing this. And it's just the absurdity and the like childhood stupidity where we're like, this is going to work great. None of us thought for a second that doing our gender reveal party for America was going to burn down the field next to us. Oh,
I was so scared of fire.
We were just like,
I literally said, I want no part of this.
I avoided those neighbors for like 2 months. I was just like, I see them, like, I'm not talking to them.
No, we didn't create that giant black spot in your yard. Fast forward a few years later, we burned Bear's neighbor's yard down.
Oh my God, Mark, was the day you got arrested? I didn't know that was Valentine's Day. That's hilarious. Oh my God, he said, because Bear said, asked Aaron if they have wooden roads in England.
What?
Vietnamese. Oh. And he said, no, we do not. But they poured alcohol all over it, used aerosols, anything they could. There was a very large flame. What in the world? Oh my God.
That is too much.
Oh. He said he did not take pictures. Oh. He said just standing in his garden shaking his head. He's like,
garden. Great.
He called that one cop from Thrasher, the Thrasher game. Don't make me call you mom. I think that was awesome. Oh yeah, so we had a we did Bottle Rocket Wars too, and we had a fire bowl. So it's just a smooth metal bowl that we had poured kerosene in and had a flame going like the Olympic torch. And Bear just throws a gross of bottle rockets, which you don't know that's 144 bottle rockets. And he's like, "Oh, let me stoke the fire." He drops it, and all of our brains have like the little chicken hatching. We're like, we all realize what it is, and like scramble and bail, and like bottle rockets are flying everywhere. It was a fun prank. It was a good one. Lisa said you looked broken.
Dude, I did. I felt broken.
Excuse me, I got a goddamn veterinary exam tomorrow, which is left.
I may have moved the distance of like 2 feet, but I was sweating and out of breath.
Oh my god, Matt said held a gunpoint at work, robbed and knocked out, which first of all, that sucks, man. After the cops showed up, got with some friends, on the way home had to pee, pulled over to a school, called peeing by the same cops. This is a series of lemony snicket, series of unfortunate events.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous.
Oh my god. Got hammered. Oh, he was drunk too. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is a fantastic story. Charged with trespassing too. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. That is. My
Aaron,
god,
it sounds like you and Corey would be really good friends in real life.
I'm going out and doing something stupid tonight.
I'm not.
I'm not either, yeah. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna eat and go to sleep.
If you're tired, be quiet and go to sleep.
Yeah, so I guess I'll tell Mark. So Mark in the chat, Mark Winchester. We have classic game nights every once in a while where we all bring over old systems and play games into the wee hours. Usually a lot of us stay the night over here, but Mark had work. We drink, of course. And Mark, he can justify it in his he can justify it in the chat, but I don't believe he was really drunk when he left. He seemed sober, he seemed fine, and all of us are pretty good about if we're not feeling up to driving, we don't drive. We don't drink and drive. There's no joking about it. Well, Mark, gosh, sometime late that night, like, "Hey guys, I got work tomorrow. I'll see you later." We're like, "Hey, see you, Mark." And, you know, we all finish our classic game night. Don't think anything about it. We text Mark, you know, I'm shooting him questions about, "Hey, have you read this comic?" or whatever we're talking about. None of us hear from Mark, and I think it might have been Lisa was like, "Hey guys, has anybody heard from Mark in the last like 3 days?" And we're all looking for him, can't find him. I think it was like a holiday weekend. So come to find out, he had nodded off on his way home, wrecked his car, and the police found him. And when they hit him with the breathalyzer, I guess they justified it and took him to jail and kept him over the weekend. And he can fill you in one day with all of the fun stories about how he had to befriend people. I think he made a toothbrush shiv while he was there.
Good arts and crafts. Sounds like a
Squirrel
good time.
Master helped him out. It was crazy because we're just like, "Hey, anybody heard from Mark?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he went to jail." Like, "Oh my god, for what?" No. So yeah, now it's similar to we make fun of Lisa for recording in theaters. We always ask Mark if he's sober before he drives.
All right, I think I'm wrapped. This one.
Mark is always at a disadvantage at puzzle games because he's colorblind. That's okay. Aaron said, "Do we trust myself, Matt, and Corey in the same area? That sounds like a state may go missing. We got enough states. We can get rid of one. Just make it Iowa."
Yeah, nobody will care at that point.
He said, "I found out how to make a shake and sold my silk sheets for a water cup."
All right. Oh, this one done. Dunzo.
Little over 2 hours. We've been streaming for a bit over that.
Yeah. You guys are holding down a conversation, so
Yeah. And well, like I said, we had about a 15-minute preamble as usual. Showed off some stuff. We'll have to show off the B Movie Saga things in just a second.
Yep. All right, let me get this closer in so you guys can see it. Let me know what you think. So,
Wyoming, just a square. Just make a square ocean right there in the middle.
And again, this one is now signed by me, Robbie Rodriguez, and Rico Renzi. So that's pretty special.
Yeah, that looks nuts, man.
Thanks. I'm happy with that one.
Send him the sketch.
Now I'll sell that one for $100.
Oh my god. Some people have bought your stuff like that, that's for sure.
A bowl of hot Cheetos over here.
We can use the scale and send it off.
You'd ink that, you guess? I'll bring the other camera back up in just a second when I show
Here
the
comes
movie
the thirsty inking train.
The thirsty inking train. I'm glad all you guys are out there and want to ink my stuff. There it is. Good job, Hallifield.
Oh, you're pulling out the B Movie Saga. Hallifield already done 2 passes at it. Dang, Brown and White is knocked out. I just noticed on the stream. Puppo. We'll describe in the same way I did the plot synopsis for Attack of the Clones, Matt. Everything you missed.
Okay, so real quick before we get out of here, guys. Yeah, I hope you like it, man. Hope you like it. Before we get out of here, got one other piece of artwork we're going to show. This will be in the B Movie Saga preview book, or again, whatever we decide to call it. B Movie Saga, the next story, B Movie Saga. This will be a pinup. We're also going to do prints. We're going to put the logo on it, but I did finish this. I haven't posted it yet. I'll post it the next day or so, but thought it'd be cool to show it here.
Aspen, his taken priority.
We'll go full screen on this one. So,
and I'll say for once, I contributed more than money. This was my idea. This was my original cover idea for B Movie Saga 2, and Scoot correctly did not think it would be the best cover, and I 100% agree. But it's still a killer pinup. And I came up with the space helmet idea.
You sure did.
He was like, his foot's floating. I don't know what to do. I was like, if you want to keep it all in shot, just make it on his helmet. So,
Yep, so this one is Dunzo as well. Corey will ink it at some point once he's done making money with his stuff. And then,
yeah, and this will be...
it'll be put into the book.
This will be one that Scoot will not post any kind of like high res or anything or share it until Corey's done it, because he's got to be the first out the gate on this one. Yeah. Just because it's a Brute Studios thing, but once that's done, we will gladly share.
Yep. No, I don't know if anybody... Well, yeah, I think Hallifield's done some B Movie Saga inking.
Yeah, he did at least a sketch of Colin's head, and then well, we'll get it out there. And
definitely Cowboy Bebop vibes.
Matt was at least last week was working on some colors for B Movie Saga 1, doing his take on it, which is fun.
Sweet. Hey, thanks, Stinky Raccoon. Appreciate it.
He's back. Yeah.
All right. Well, this one, I'm happy I finished this in one passing. That makes it feel good.
Yeah. Like printing your own money.
And the person, again, Prophet, that's in the chat here, this is for him. And he's waited a while for it. He's been pretty patient. So proves that you're patient, you'll get something awesome. I promise.
Aaron, one day you'll be reading B Movie Saga and you'll be like, I got an idea for a spin-off, a side series, and then you can pitch that to me.
C Movie Saga.
Yeah. Well, I'll do eventually. Delphos' story will be Z Movie Saga.
That's cool.
The other single from the Fratellis.
Yeah.
The other B-side. And if you end up having a dupe of Edge of the Spider-Verse, you let me know. Edge of the Spider-Verse 2, I will there'll be some quick money for you. Hey, Russell. But yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we're gonna call it there, guys. It's 9:20 our time. It's like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Where Aaron's at. So, thanks for tuning in again. Appreciate it. As always, all the links in the description. Go follow them if you don't. Stuff for me, stuff for Brad, stuff for Dwayne's music, since his music is always going to be a part of this. Sometimes Corey's stuff's in there if I feel like putting it in there or not, you know.
You could call me Brand in the description.
I did. I had to edit it before. Yeah, go follow us. Again, if you want a copy of that Fathom variant, the way to get it is actually all over my social media. So just go check my posts.
And on the Brute Studios one too.
And on the Brute Studios one. So it's also going to be forever in my story.
Yep.
On my Instagram page. So.
And keep an eye out for the Dragon Tiplar coming soon, and we'll throw those in and lump them in
Brad
with you guys.
Brad will let you guys know when his book's ready. And then, as always, we'll keep you updated on B Movie Saga. So until then, if you haven't liked the video, go like the video. Because, again, we do this for fun, but we're trying to build a pretty fun community. So I'd like to get some new folks up in here in the chat with you guys, or maybe they would if you guys weren't so telling crime stories. But anyway, we'll see you guys next week. It seems like Saturday's a good night. I wish I had Saturdays off a lot more, but
yeah.
But until then, next thing we'll do will be me and Ashley spooky stream. So keep a watch out. That's been fun. Ashley's getting into drawing.
Piece.
I do need to finish the auction piece. Maybe we'll just make that next week, because that'll be a Spidey piece. And looks like I'm doing Spider-ish related stuff over the last few weeks, so maybe we just continue that, or I do a commission. We'll see. But anyway, see you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good rest of your week. And stay tuned to all our social media stuff, and we'll let you know when the next stream is. Until then, peace out, brothers.